I'm going to talk about a not really a hype subject, but it's something that I feel that everyone should definitely pay more attention to, especially going into this holiday season. This topic right here will safeguard you and give you very good safety practices when you're on the internet. And today we're going to talk about cybersecurity. I'm going to give you a few tips and things to think about when you're engaging online, when you're opening up these emails, even text messages, and how you're responding, and where you're putting your information and who you're giving your information to. The form that I'm going to be base this report off of is a form given to me from the FAA safety team, the Federal Aviation Administration. And so to get into it, we're looking at 10% of security safeguards are technical, and 90% of security safeguards rely on the computer user. So we're looking at 90% of all these, all the occurrences of what you want to say breaches in security on behalf of the user that is using the device and that is online and hasn't taken these proper safeguards. So many cybersecurity threats are largely avoidable. Some key steps that everyone can take include a good cryptic password that can't be easily guessed and keep your password secret. It is imperative that when you make a password, you keep this password. A few tips that I use and that's recommended in this report is at least 8 characters long. There should be a capital letter, there should be a number and a special letter somewhere off in that sequence. And let's not use just generic words. Let's not use names. Let's not use things that anybody can look online and follow you up and actually get the information. It's like, oh, that's an 8 letter word. That might be their password. Let's start making up words. Let's not use a word that is found in the dictionary. Um, and for just safer practices. Uh, like I said, that the holiday season is coming upon us. I know there will be a lot of online shopping, and to start practicing these safeguards now and to develop a better plan will keep you from being hacked. Will keep you from getting these viruses that occur, especially going into fourth quarter every year. So, to avoid standard unencrypted emails and encrypted instant messages. Here recently, there has been a report that um, text messaging, an anonymous text message, you will get a text message that will just open up like a conversation, a dialogue, like you know the person. It will usually start off with a hey, hi, even like a into a conversation that you feel like you might be a part of, but this is the way that they target you to engage you to at least respond to that text message as far as saying, hey, you have the wrong number. And then in politely, they will go through some dialogue of, oh, I'm sorry, but thank you, to try to get you engaged enough to try to, excuse me, to try to get you comfortable enough to start relinquishing this information, who you are, where you're from, what things that you like to do, what's your job title, where you work. These things like this start weakening some of the fabric or the build that you have, because these little things right here add up into who your identity is and where they can find you. So once again, passwords and understanding, not to just start opening up messages. So cryptic passwords that can't be easily guessed, and protect your passwords. Don't share your passwords and avoid writing them down. Characteristics of good cryptic passwords contain a mixture of upper and lowercase numbers, letters, and symbols, at least 8 characters in length or longer, um, if they're less complex. But I would definitely recommend that 8 characters with a capital letter, a number, and some type of special character, and a word that's not based in the dictionary is going to be your best bet. Easy to remember definitely make it something easy that you can remember, or there are actually some ways that you can put this on a thumb drive, put this somewhere to where it's not digitally accessible, but it is still accessible in digital right. So a thumb drive, an SD card, something at an external hard drive, something that you can unplug from your computer and then maybe plug back in when need be if you forget this password. Just using a notepad form or such things like that. I want to talk about scams going into next. Now, this is what I was meaning earlier when I spoke about some of the instant messages and some of the text messages. So the FAA says here in scams, do not respond to email, instant messages, text, phone calls, etc., asking you for your password. You should never disclose your password to anyone, even if they say they work for a legitimate company or if they work for an organization that you might be familiar with. A lot of scams. Of course, we've heard about the Nigerian prince. We've heard about these other different scams claiming that you've won a great luxurious prize. All they need is these little bits of information. We've heard from reports of cybersecurity scams that's coming in as actually antivirus companies that's stating, hey, look, you might have a breach. We need your information. Recently, I listened to a call. It was a call, and I believe it is trending right now on Instagram Reels or somewhere. That this call was of a hacker trying to get someone's social security number. And during the call, he's on the phone with this guy, and he's telling them, "Hey, I just need your to verify your social security number. Can you give it to me?" And the guy's like, well, if you already have it and I need to verify it, why don't you say it to me? And then I'll confirm. He said, well, that's just, we can't do it like that. We just need you to say it. He said, well, at least just give it to the last four digits. At least the last four digits. And if you notice, a lot of these companies, that's what they'll ask for is just the last four digits of your social security number, because truth be told, that is where your identity lies. The first three is basically where you originated from. The middle two, they have a sequence in a particular order of what they're for, but the last four basically identifies you. So to get those last four digits of your social security number really basically identifies who you are. So he asks, hey, what about just the last four digits? Let me get those. And the guy said, yeah, you can get those. Well, actually, I'll give you three. How about 911? And they chuckle for a minute. The guy on the phone, the hacker, was actually laughing, and the guy was laughing along with him. He said, really, who is this? And then the conversation went dark as the hacker said, hi, you really laughing? He said he gave the gentleman gave him his address, gave him where he worked, gave him his name, and told him, it's like, as soon as I find out your social security number, I'm you. I'm taking everything that you have and going for more. And that's exactly how easy it is. So be careful and safeguarded when actually putting your information out here, because nowadays with cell phones, with technology, and I don't mean to ward anybody away from using these things, because this is the way where things are going. So it's to be safeguarded. It's not to run away from it. It's just to protect yourself. Um, is to understand that these things have to be put in place to protect you. So going forward, um, malicious links can affect your computer or take you to web pages designed to steal your information. Only click links from trusted sources. Never click on a mysterious link unless you have a way to independently verify that it's safe. This includes URLs. And I'm glad they spoke on this. Malicious attachments can affect your computer. Don't open unsolicited or unexpected attachments. If you can't verify the attachment is legitimate, delete it immediately. Do not give private information to anyone you do not know or who does not have the legitimate need for it. In person, over the phone, via email. instant messenger, text, Facebook, Twitter, etc. At no means. Um, I want to go back when they're talking about URLs. When you're entering a website, in most good safety, in most good antivirus software, and I'll disclose what software I use, but most good antivirus software will let you know if the website is harmful, if it is malicious, if it has any malware attached to it. But if for those that don't know, okay, up in the URL, not in the bar where it says Google with the little magnifying glass, but at the very top where all the searches happen, you're going to notice that that website address starts with a HTTP and then S and then some other numbers. All right? This is the complete URL address. It just doesn't start with www. It actually starts with HTTP and then it goes on. Now, the reason I stopped there is because right now there is a variance. So if you see the HTTP without the S, this is a clear indicator that that site is not secure. That S stands for security. That S stands for a what we call an SSL certificate. This SSL certificate is basically gives you that padlock on whatever site that you own or whatever site that you're going to, that reconfirms that, hey, it's a very safe site to visit. There's no monkey business, that you can proceed without worry that you're going to either catch a virus or somebody's going to be trying to phish your information. So viruses, phishing, scams, all these things can happen from these sites that do not have that HTTPS ://www yada yada yada. So be on the lookout. Be very, very mindful of that. Protect information when using internet and email. Email is big right now. Most companies, everybody is sending out emails, going to be sending out coupons, going to be sending out different newsletters. Email is very big. It is a very big communication medium, but you have to be careful. You have to understand that it's like if you did not ask for that attachment, if you did not ask for, saying that email, regardless if they put your name in the subject title or not, more than likely, or I'm not going to say more than likely, but there's a good chance that email is fraudulent and someone's trying to fish you in, especially with a good saying that I've come to adopt. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So when you got all these claims coming in, hey, you've won this and you didn't sign up to win anything, more than likely that could be a clear indicator that they're trying to fish you for something. They're trying to get some information out of you. But on the upside of that, if you have subscribed to an email list, and you know that you have something coming through, you followed whoever's email sequence or email that you want that information coming through, hey, go ahead and star that. Star that. Learn to start starring things, which keeps things in your email, in your inbox and out of your spam box, and learn to start spamming things that saying that aren't there. This way, when you spam it and find it as spam, others, it's in a community, others will find it as spam as well, and it'll just start getting filtered off into everybody's spam box. All right. So moving forward, let's see here where we at. It said we covered look for HTTPSs, not HTTPs in the URL that indicate there is a secure connection. Be especially careful about when you do over wireless. Information and passwords sent via standard encrypted wireless are especially easy for hackers to intercept. Most public access wireless is unencrypted. So be careful when you pull into McDonald's, Starbucks, Taco Mayo, one of these food changes, and you start using their Wi-Fi. Be careful when you're using secure information, private information, when you're at the hotel and you hook up to the guest Wi-Fi. That is an open source Wi-Fi. Anybody can access it. anybody, you know what I'm saying, might be able to throw a Trojan link or what we call a keylogger or or different phishing type methods or tactics to gain information of who's ever using that ISP, or not ISP, but using that IP address for that internet. So definitely be mindful. And then I'm going to get into antiviruses and computer hacks. And these are going to be the last two that we talk about. I wasn't trying to make this too long, but I wanted to give you some guys some information about how to protect yourself, how to stay safe online, and when you just not for your computer, but also for your cell phones, because they can develop viruses too. They can be hacked too, just like it's a smaller version of a computer. So don't think, oh well, it happened. I have a Mac, so I'm better safeguarded than Windows. No, sir, that is not the case. That is not true. The information that you have is still the same information. When somebody gets a hold of it, regardless of what device it might come from, you're going to be in trouble. So, antivirus. What are some symptoms of a computer's antivirus? Here's a list of some of the symptoms you may encounter if your computer has a virus. All right. Files disappear. Files replicate. Mysterious files appear. Data is transferred or corrupted. Disk space fills up suddenly. Computer slows down or it locks up. Computer hard drive crashes. PC is unable to boot, and usually a system message or something appears. He says if you observe any of these symptoms, promptly have your computer checked by a specialist. That is very crucial. Especially the computer when it slows down and locks up. I've had this happen a couple times. Had to do a system restore. Found out that I went and I grabbed a file in a hurry that I shouldn't have had. That, you know what I'm saying, wasn't good for my computer or good for me. Slowed my computer way down. I couldn't understand why it was so slow. Had to take it in and get looked at. Did a system restore on it to get me back past when I installed that software. I downloaded that file and I was back up to running, but it took a lot of time. It was not cheap, and it could have potentially, put me at risk as far as people, someone gathering more information than what I intended them to have. Um, a hacked computer can be used to record keystrokes and steal passwords. I'll explain just briefly what a keystroke is. As you're typing, every time that you type a key, somebody, it's like on like a two-sided mirror or like a double-sided mirror. Somebody that has hacked your computer can actually see exactly what keystrokes, a keylogger, keystrokes you're actually typing in. Send spam reports or phishing emails, harvest and sales email addresses and passwords, access restricted and personal information on your computer. Other systems you have that you have to be, can be accessed. Illegally distributed music, movies, and software, distribute child pornography, infected your system, hide programs that launch attacks on other computers, generates large volumes of traffic, and slowing down the entire system. Briefly, before I wrap this up, a gentleman, he's a colleague of mine, um, told me, it's like, hey, I had a website at one point in time, and he was a photographer. He's a really good photographer, by the way, and he had a website up, and he chose not to go the route. Even though we told him, it's like, hey man, you got to get that SSL certificate. You got to, protect yourself. He's like, hey, no, I got a good deal. I'm gonna go this route. I'll get to that later on when I start making some money. And so he had a very big client that he took some pictures for, and when he went to upload, and he uploaded the pictures to a client, for the client on his website, so the client could view and see what they had. Well, in between the time of his client, of him posting those videos or those pictures on his website, for the client to view, and between the time the client actually getting to view it, he had been hacked. His website has been hacked. All of the links that he had for the photos had been replaced with pornography links, so that when you clicked on those links, you'd been taken and redirected to a pornography site. Let's just say, in shortly, he lost that client. He lost revenue. He lost credibility. Things was all bad. He's still in business. He's been able to recoup. You know what I'm saying? Had to go through some changes, some rebranding. Had to go through a whole lot of loops. But if he had to just slow down and took the time to do things correctly, he skipped a step, so chaos entered. But if he took the time, had to just grab that SSL certificate for his website, um, that probably would have never happened, and he still would have probably been able to conduct business as usual, and would have been a whole lot further than what he is today. So, for this report, this real report, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Try not to make it super long and super boring. If you have any thoughts, comments, and questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And until next time,